All right, I think we are good. All right, welcome back to another video. Sorry, I've been a little bit inactive recently. I am still in Miami. I leave to go back on Tuesday, so I'm honestly pretty excited to come back because I have a lot of education and more content planned for you guys. For this video, I didn't want to dive into the charts just quite yet. I wanted to talk more about the importance of some things I've been thinking about. We did go to the FX Summit here in Miami, and I talked to a lot of really cool guys and really cool individuals. And a lot of the stuff that I talked about with one specific person was I went on Riz Dom's podcast, and we talked a lot about psychology and the patience. And he asked me what was my biggest advice for new traders. So that's kind of what we're going to be going over in this video. And a lot of those ideas have to do with psychology, patience, and discipline. Some different mindset shifts. So just more of this video is just going to be me kind of talking to you guys about some of the biggest things I think are the telltales to become a profitable trader. Everybody says, what's that aha moment that made you profitable? It was, for me, it's not a strategy. It wasn't anything. All has to do with psychology. So that's what we're going to be going over today. So the first thing that I do want to talk about, and I think something that's really important for new traders and something I fell into this category when I first started trading, and I think this also made me it took me a little bit longer to become profitable because of this, and that is always switching your strategy. So for a lot of people, for the people in my Discord, that's not really a problem because we have solidified what our edge is. I am here mentoring, teaching you guys what I trade. When we go on lives, you see me. I won't take any other trade except for my edge. So that is something. But again, people that come into the space that don't have that guidance, don't have a mentor, they don't know what they're looking for. They don't know anything. They come into the market every single day looking for something new, right? They don't know what they're looking for, and that's a problem, right? There's no system that's backed behind whatever their edge is. So you have to have some sort of solidified edge, and sometimes that takes time if you don't have a mentor. Lucky for you guys, I'm putting a lot of this education out there so you guys can learn from this and understand, how I trade, how a lot of some other people trade as well, and kind of give mixed ideas for you to figure out what works best for you guys. So yes, number one, you have to be able to stick to something and fix it and work on it and master it. A lot of new traders come to this space, they pick up a strategy, it stops working for a week or two, and then they drop it because they think it's broken, instead of realizing that, okay, the problem was probably you probably made a mistake, and you have to go back and fix it. You have to push your ego to the side, admit that you were wrong, right? You have to admit you're wrong. In trading, you have to learn to take accountability for every single thing you do, whether it be, you over leveraged yourself, you maybe didn't follow your stop loss, you didn't follow your price target, whatever it is, you have to say, you know what, Justin, I fucked up here. You got to realize I would have done this, this, this. This is what I should have done right. And one of the hardest things that not a lot of people can do is, even if it is a winning trade, you still have to discipline yourself to look back at it and say, okay, was this actually a good trade, or did I just kind of get lucky here? Like, because there's some days where I'll maybe make a lot of money and I'll be like, wait, Justin, you were really over leveraged right there. If that went against you, you were taking, however much that loss is, right? So you have to recognize those things, especially if you're right? Because not a lot of people do that. If they're right, or if they're not right, but if it's a winning trade, they're going to think of it as they're doing something right, and sometimes that's not the case, right? That's why in anything you guys see me post, I'm always preaching about practicing and building good habits, because good habits, that's what's going to actually stick with you throughout your entire trading career, right? So building good habits, right? Following your rules, following good risk management, only trading your edge, right? So number one, stick to your strategy, master it. Don't jump around. All it's going to do is waste time. Because for me, I used to trade, support and resistance, supply and demand, literally whatever it is. I would trade it, wouldn't work, and every single day I would come to the market, I did not know what I was looking for. I had no specific, like no model, nothing that I was looking for. Whatever, it was just like something would look good, and I just enter it without really a checklist. That's why I love our strategy, because you can have defined risk, defined set of rules, and defined edge. You know exactly what you're looking for, whether it be sweep of liquidity, break structure, fair value gap, draw on liquidity, whatever it is. The more experience you gain using those tools, though, you can start to tweak it a little bit, right? Now, for me, I've been trading ICT concepts for a long time. So being able to use those concepts, I can then kind of rearrange my model into ways that I can learn to, trade some other setups, right? I don't have to wait for, a specific thing. Now that's what I normally do, but sometimes there might be a setup that doesn't check all those boxes off, but I have confidence with it because I've seen it happen over and over and over again. And all that happens is just with experience. So building experience, dialing into the charts, okay, so now we're going into the next one. Stop looking at all of these other traders on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube. Now, I'm saying when you are trading, don't look at Twitter when you're trading. Don't look at YouTube when you're trading. Don't look at TikTok when you're trading. When you are trading, you have to learn to build confidence within yourself, right? If you are constantly following someone's alerts, following someone's, anything, looking at somebody's, oh, I think SPY is going to go this today. Oh, I think SPY is bearish today. When you see all of these conflicting opinions on Twitter or Instagram, whatever it is, all that is doing is breaking down your own bias, right? And with trading, that is the number one thing that you need, is you have to have some sort of confidence with your trade. If you have no conviction, no confidence, that means you're going to be anxious, you're going to do emotional things because you're second guessing yourself, right? There's a possibility of it going against you, but there's no really reason you should be entering because you don't have confidence, right? So the number one thing, again, don't look at people on Twitter. Don't look at people, right? Just learn to shut everybody out. That is when I started seeing a great improvement. When I stopped caring what anybody else was doing except myself. Dial in. I don't care if somebody else makes money today. I don't care if I lose money. I don't care if somebody else loses money. All that matters is, am I focusing on myself? Am I following good rules, building good habits? That is it. Always focus on just building good habits. Block out all the noise. You do not need it. Understand? So, diving a little bit more into the psychology aspect of, actually trading itself, right? And I see a lot of traders, especially in my Discord, when we took some trades earlier this week, it was very hard for them to stay patient during some of the trades that we took. And I think the reason is because they do not, either number one, you haven't accepted the risk on the table, right? Because you're still afraid to lose and you're obsessed with the outcome of the trade. You want to be right. Now, the more that you trade and the more experience that you start to gain, the more you're going to realize that you stop caring about the outcome. You stop caring about the outcome of a trade. All my job is to wait for a specific setup, apply risk, and then let the market do its thing. I don't care what the market does, to be honest. I can get stopped out. I can hit my price target. But I know in the long run, if I do that exact same thing for a month, I will most likely always be positive on that month. That's what an edge is. You have an edge over the market. That's how I make money in the market, right? If you really dial it back down to a system approach, right? A systemated idea of what you're actually doing, that's all it is. You know what you look for. You have a system, a model. You wait for it. Once you see it, you apply risk, you execute without hesitation, right? Which is another big one. You can't hesitate. Sometimes I do hesitate a little bit, and the reason is because sometimes there's something I want to see more happen, right? Maybe there's a market structure shift, but not a lot of displacement. Maybe we haven't pulled back to discount, something like that, and that's okay. But when it's there, you know it's there, right? That's a lot of the times when I see a really good setup, you won't see me miss it. Now, I've maybe missed maybe one or two in the last, month or two, but a lot of the times if I see it, it's taken and we're going to bank. So, learning to not hesitate when that trade actually comes into play is a really big one. So, going back to the patience aspect, being able to enter a position, put risk on the table, have your stop, have your price target. A lot of you guys can't just sit there and watch. And I have two recommendations for that. Either enter a trade, put your stop loss, put your limit order, and then just walk away. Stop, limit, walk away. Because again, I always say there's two outcomes for a trade. There's only two that there should be. Price target gets hit, stop loss gets hit. Other than that, you should not be fucking tripping. Because all that's going to do is it's just going to build unnecessary anxiety and stress on yourself that you're going to bring into the next trade, right? When you stop caring about the outcome of a trade, you get the sense of stress-free. You are able to apply risk without realizing, without, worrying about anything. So now it comes in the question is are you being stressed and having anxiety from position sizing, or is it from something else? And I can guarantee you a lot of the times it's because you're position sizing. You are afraid to lose. And with trading, you can't be afraid to lose. If you're afraid to lose, most of the time you're going to lose. It's funny how that works, but the market will literally fuck you if you are afraid to lose. Because when you're afraid to lose, that means you're second guessing your ideology, your edge, and you haven't accepted the risk you put on the table. You're over leveraged. You're afraid to lose all that money. You're not thinking about the market as a system, right? So learning to accept the risk, right? Lower your position size if you cannot handle whatever you're trading right now. I guarantee you, if you are struggling with stress and anxiety right now in markets, and you put on a trade and you're just anxious in it, try lowering your size for a week, just a week. And I'm saying lowering your size. Let's say you normally trade, you know, uh, two minis. Let's just say two minis of ES, right? And let's say your max loss normally when you lose is maybe $600, right? So your max loss $600, and this is maybe, let's say this is a lot for you. You're like, when you're in a trade, you're quivering, right? 600 is a lot of money for you. Try dialing that back and trade 5 micros. So trade a quarter, right? A quarter of your position, 5 micros, and see how much better you trade. And write down how you behave and how you feel during that trade, right? Again, you should be journaling every day after you trade, and you should be journaling all of the trades you took, what you did right, what you did wrong, right? I've made a video on journaling already. You can go back and check that one out. But that is a key, right? Once you make these changes, you want to write down how that has affected you, right? Is it negative? Is it positive? Because all you're doing is tweaking, tweaking, tweaking. That is what mastery is. Being able to master your craft is tweaking things that can always be improved. So if you find yourself being anxious and stressful, ask yourself, okay, Justin, how can I fix this? Well, let me go back in my journal. On the days where I lost a lot, maybe I was over leveraged, but I made my most consistent green days are days where I lowered my size. Let me try lowering my size for a month, see what the outcome is. Then once you build consistency with that, you can slowly start to up it back up, right? Because now what that's doing is it's building confidence. You're no longer hesitating on your plays. You're no longer, questioning if you're going to be right or you're going to be wrong. All you're doing is applying risk because you're not afraid to lose that big amount. Because now, instead of your, max loss being $600, you're losing maybe, $100, $200 on that trade, and you're much, you're a lot more okay with that than 600, right? Once you build confidence first, then you can start upping your size. Again, don't focus on the money. Always focus on the process. You want to build that confidence first before you start leveraging yourself, right? I get it. Everybody comes into the trading space to make money. I did. Everybody does. That's why we do it. But you have to realize trading is just like a college, right? It is a long, hard work. So, just like college, you spend a lot of money, 50 grand in tuition to go to college for 4 years, then you get your degree, right? Then you get your degree, and then you get a job, and then you start getting paid. So why are you tripping that you're in your first year of trading and you're not making a single dollar, right? You're still a baby. You're still a baby. You have to put in the time and you have to put in the work, and then you will be rewarded. But if you're not putting in the work and you're just throwing money away, burning it, right, without learning from your mistakes and expecting the market to, reward you in some sense because you're gambling, it will never happen, and you will end up just burning all of your capital. You really have to ask yourself, is this something that I want to be that committed in? Because I'm sorry to say, most of the people watching this video will always fail. I'm just going to say it. Statistically speaking, most of the people that are watching this video right now will fail in the long run. And that's either because they give up, it's too hard, they lose too much money, and they decide to quit. Literally, that's it. It's just they quit. You have to realize, if you want to make money in this game, you have to master your craft first, right? Money is a tool. You have to actually learn the art of trading first and then use money as a tool to make more money. But if you're not focused on actually learning how to trade, mastering yourself, mastering your mind, learning to control your emotion, learning to control how you think, then it'll be very hard for you. That's why in Tactical Traders, in our Discord, anything you see me post, good habits always come first. Even if I make a winning trade, I do not care if I make 20 bands on a trade. I do not care. If it is a bad trade, I will say, guys, this is a terrible trade. I did this wrong. I do not care if I made 20 bands. The difference is all of these other fucking people, a lot of other people in the space will never ever do that because all they're trying to promote to you is money. You got to realize all those people in the space that are, promoting 50 band days, 100 band days, they all blow the fuck up. They all blow the fuck up because they've been practicing bad habits their whole life. What do you think happens when, somebody makes 100K a day, from YOLOing an account 60% on a day? 60% on their account in a day, they make 100 bands. What do you think happens to that? Well, psychology speaking, if I'm doing something, let's say I'm in a trade, right, and I make 100 bands on the day, 60% of my portfolio, that rush of dopamine saying, wow, I did something right today. I just made 100 bands. So I go into the market repeating exactly what I did, expecting to get the same outcome, over leveraging myself, having that euphoric feeling of wanting to make money. You're going to blow up. Trading is a longevity game. You cannot expect to make that kind of money in a short amount of time. You have to focus on those building good habits. The more time passes, you will become a fucking beast. Trust me. The more that you focus on the process and less on the profits, the more the money will show. Trust me. Trust me. So, I believe in every single buddy that's watching right now. Anybody can do it. There is no difference between me, you, anybody. All it is just putting in the work, putting in the time, gaining experience. That's all it is. Everybody's journey is different. Never compare your journey to somebody else's. You could be trading 6 months. I'm trading 4 years. Never compare yourself to me. Completely different journeys, completely different experiences. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got something out of this. This was more of, a talk between me and you guys to really just not, dial down. Sometimes you just need to be slapped in the face with reality because a lot of the times, a lot of the problems I had when I first started trading was, those things. I, had no discipline, had no rules, I couldn't control my emotion, couldn't control my anxiety. Sometimes you just need to be slapped to be like, you know what? I'm doing this whole thing wrong. And you need to start now practicing good habits. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm still in Miami. I will get back on Tuesday. We have a lot of news this week, so I'll probably be trading some days, but I don't know if I will be trading the whole week just because it's kind of unfortunate I'm coming back to such shit week, but we'll see what happens. So more videos to come. I'm going to start posting again when I get back from Miami. It is absolutely grind time. I've never been more motivated. I'm so excited to get back to work. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace.